once said, when the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Before I start my speech, I want to share my personal experience. One day, I was sitting with my friends. We were just having a normal conversation. We laughing, we talking, and we sharing stories together. But then, suddenly, someone broke up a political issue at our table. It was simple at first. It was just a video that popped up on social media. And then, suddenly, our conversation changed. Some of us became very passionate. Some of us started to sharing opinions. And also, some of us even disagreed strongly. But interestingly, there are also people who just stay quiet. They listened, but they didn't say anything. Have you ever been in that situation, guys? When you have an opinion, but you just stay quiet. And also that made me wonder, are they not interested? Or are they just unsure how to express it? That moment lingered in my mind because many people often say that young people don't care about politics. Gen Z don't care about politics. But from I saw that day, it didn't feel like we didn't care. We care, but we show it differently. Or sometimes we are still learning how to show it. So today, I want to explore about, do young people in Indonesia really care about political awareness? I believe, and I always believe, that young people in Indonesia do care about politics. But our awareness is not always loud. Sometimes expressive, sometimes quiet, sometimes uncertain. Let's think about it. We live in a time that information is everywhere. We see news every day, we hear about issues constantly. And whether we realize it or not, those things shape our thoughts. We talk about corruption, we talk about injustice, we talk about inequality, and also we talk about decisions and policies that made by our government. So no, we are not disconnected. We are aware about politics. And also this is supported by data. According to Komisi Pemilihan Umum, young people, especially Gen Z and millennials, make up a large portion of voters in Indonesia. This means our voices matters. And also, for example, like during 2024 general election, social media became a main platform to political discussion. Young people didn't just watch, they created content, shared their opinions, and even influenced political discussion. We saw political campaigns on TikTok, debates happening in Twitter or X, and also information spreading rapidly on Instagram. This shows that young people are not disconnected from politics. They are involved, but in space that feels like accessible to them. But even though we are involved, the way we express our political interest is different. Not everyone expresses their thoughts the same way. Some people speak loudly, some prefer to listen, some express through social media, and some are still trying to understand. Politics, for many young people, can feel complicated or frustrating. So, instead of jumping into debates, we choose to observe first. But that doesn't mean we don't care. It means we are learning to process. But here's something we need to reflect. Even though young people are quiet online, we need to ask ourselves, does posting and sharing always mean we truly understand? Because today it's very easy to react. We like, we repost, we comment, but awareness is not just about we reacting, but it is about we understand about the topic, about the case. And sometimes we follow the trend, sometimes we're sharing opinions because they are popular. But awareness requires us more. It requires us more curiosity, more critical thinking, and the courage to question what we see. Because not everything in online is accurate, and not everything that viral is true. But here's something we need to understand, that caring about politics does not always mean we're doing something big. Not everyone needs to be an activist, not everyone needs to speak on a big stage. Because sometimes awareness begins with small actions. It can be taking time to understand an issue, listening to different perspectives, or thinking carefully before sharing information. These small actions matter because change does not always start with loud voices, but sometimes it starts with consistent awareness. So, when you look at young people in Indonesia, we are not completely passive, but we are in a process of learning, process of understanding, questioning, and slowly finding our voice. But society often misunderstands this. When we young people are quiet, they label us as apathetic. And when we are express our opinions through social media, they call us too emotional. So whatever we do, sometimes it's seen as wrong. And now, people might say that politics doesn't affect my life. But how could we, as young people, think the same way like that? Because whether we realize it or not, politics shapes many parts of our daily lives. For example, have you ever complained about rising prices or about hard to find opportunities in this era, or about even your daily internet access? Those things don't just happen, but they are influenced by decisions, policies, and also system. So even when we are disconnected with politics, but remember, politics is still affecting us. Going back to that moment with my friends, because I realized something important. Those who stay quiet, maybe they were not interested, but maybe they were thinking deeply. Maybe they were unsure, and maybe they were afraid of being judged. And honestly, I can relate to that because I've also been at that position too. When I wanted to speak, but choosing to silence instead. Not because I don't care, but because I'm still learning how to express it. So what we can do now? First, we need to create a space where young people feel safe to speak. And the second one is we need better political education, not just theory, but also real-life relevance. And the third one is we need to be patient with ourselves and also with others. Because awareness takes time, confidence takes time, and also meaningful participation takes growth. Let's return to that question. Do young people in Indonesia really care about politics? Yes, we do care, and we are still learning how to express it. We are still learning how to understand it, and also we are Because politics is not something far away from us. It's already part of our daily lives. And in the end, every thought we keep now will shape the world we see. Every voice we raise now will define what we believe today. And as we move forward from today, our awareness shapes the future in every way. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.